On this week's episode of Don't Date Me, we explore the fast, dynamic, and exciting world of heteronormative dating.
Yay!
Only joking. We're going to be looking at first dates. Best case scenarios, worst case scenarios, top tips, tips for straight people that we found on the internet that are useful, I guess. It's going to be a time. It's going to be the best of times. We've got a special reoccurring guest who is...
Who's that?
Is you.
Me?
Is
No,
Jason.
Definitely can't be me. You're clearly talking about someone else.
Oh, there's cats on the episode as well, so that's exciting. So if you like cats, listen to that. It's going to be a time, so get that in your ear holes.
No dirty talk, just podcasts. No turn-ons, so turn me on. By that I mean this podcast. Not interested, so don't date me. Review me, just rate me. Like, subscribe, don't date me. Review me, just rate me. Like, subscribe, don't date me. Don't date me. Don't date me. Don't date me. Alexa, play the podcast Don't Date Me.
Get your keys in the bowl, get the pampas grass at the door, get your knickers down and have a ball. And no, don't date me.
And don't date me.
Don't date me. Do date me. No way. Don't call me baby. Don't date me. Do date me. Do date me. Do date me. Don't date me.
You're listening to Don't Date Me, a podcast about dating from Scotland. Savage, funny, and definitely not safe for work. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss future episodes. And also, don't forget to review us because it helps people find the show. I'm Jamie, a 37-year-old, 6'4", bisexual man and closeted Christian, and I don't get nervous before first dates. Does that make me a sociopath?
Yes. Hi, I'm Jason, and I've not made any notes.
Remind people, I think by this point most people have listened to previous episodes, but if they have missed you're like,
crossed.
please, but if they've missed your previous introductions, what's your flavour?
I'm a 33-year-old gay man. Hi, Sid.
Oh, hey Sid, we've got some guests.
Yes, that would be my cat.
Yes, you're
Cedric,
and we've also got
Dior.
Dior. And these
He's
names...
from the Netherlands.
You're from the
She was
Netherlands?
born in England,
Oh my goodness.
and I was born in Canada. There's not one Scot living in this flat.
What an international household we've got on the episode today.
Yes.
Yes, so you are homosexual and I am bisexual, and together we shall navigate the world of dating as the cat headbutts my MacBook. Okay, so what are you swiping left on and swiping right on this week? For me, I'm swiping left on being ill. I didn't mention this in the last episode, but I was ill for the month of January with a crazy sore throat, which my throat still sounds weird, I think, to be honest. But that was the whole thing. So I feel like I was all arrogant during Christmas because everyone I knew was getting ill and I was like, not me. But yeah, I got it for the whole month of January, which was exciting. So that's what I'm swiping left on. What are you swiping left on this week?
Oh, the same.
Oh wait, no, you said you're swiping left on no bios.
Oh yeah, bios on having no information on a dating app. So annoying. Just, I'm here like, are you lazy or do you have absolutely no personality?
Yeah. And I think if someone doesn't have time to write a bio, I don't have time to look at their face.
Exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'll even accept like an attempt at like those like first 5 questions are really multiple choice. I'll like even accept that.
And then what are you swiping right on this week?
Oh,
What are you loving?
that I went back bouldering for the first time in years.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
How was it?
Oh, it was so much fun. However, like my lower back and my arms are definitely swiping left on it.
Definitely was.
First time in God knows how long.
And bouldering is climbing without ropes, right?
Yes.
Hell yeah. One of my favourite sports, but I'm trying to ease back into the sports. This week I am swiping right on a podcast called Land of the Giants Dating Games. And it's a Vox Media podcast about the dating apps and all that kind of stuff. Like, basically the cross-section of dating and the internet, which kind of mirrors some of our subjects, to be honest. But it's been really interesting, like, hearing about how, for instance, a lot of the dating apps are all owned by the same company. Did you know that?
No.
I didn't know that. Not Grindr and Bumble, they're owned by separate companies as far as I know still. But for instance, like Match, I think OkCupid, and a whole bunch of them are all owned by the same people, which is mad. And then with Bumble, they had like litigation and like sexual harassment lawsuits pending. Right? And they were part funded by a Russian oligarch. Is that how you say it? Oligarch? Oligarch. I don't know.
Oligarch?
Someone with lots of money.
Someone from Russia.
Someone that was up to shenanigans. So that's been really interesting. So that's what I'm swiping right on this week. And then the other thing I'm swiping right on is our banging playlist, because as ever, each season of the podcast we release a new playlist on Apple Music and also Spotify. This one, most of them are usually curated by all the different people that have been on the podcast. So previous seasons we've had some of Jason's music choices as well, and other presenters that have been on.
I apologize for that.
No, I liked it. I love last.
It was random, like
last season's
literally.
one was fun. But this season's is all of my music tastes. So this one features music by Nelly Furtado, Kendrick Lamar, Vampire Weekend, Paramore, Mitski, Grimes, Bree Runway, and a whole lot more. So if you want to check that out. So yeah, you can find a link to the playlist and all the other ones in the show notes. But basically the website is bio.site/don't-date-me-pod.
So the social poll, it's time for you to have your say on this week's topic. First dates.
Oh.
I know. So on your Twitter and Instagram, we're asking, what is the ideal first date? Is it coffee, going to the cinema, dinner, or Netflix and chill? So head over to the socials and have your say. Find us on Don't Date Me Pod.
Yes. So let us know your thoughts. What's your ideal first date? Coffee, cinema, dinner, or Netflix and chill? So what about you, Jason? What's your ideal first date?
It'd be a toss-up between coffee and dinner. Depends on which one I get my walk-in.
I just feel dinner is intense for a first date.
Speaking of which, I can hear our dinner timer going off.
Should we go checking it?
No, so just before.
Okay.
We've got a few minutes.
Okay.
I don't think dinner's that bad. Depends on what kind of dinner.
Yeah, if it's something kind of casual.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I've gone on a date before where it went so well and we had coffee and we went for a walk and then we ended up having dinner. So that felt like a natural progression. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like...
I think dinner just by itself is a bit much. You need
intense.
some form of activity. Hence why I would normally go walking.
Yeah.
Especially with coffee. Go for a hot drink. Go
Yep.
for a walk and a chat.
Get to know them a bit
Same
first.
thing can happen in for dinner. But normally for dinner, I'd throw like some form of activity.
Yeah.
Like
definitely.
mini golf. That's easy. Bowling.
And then... Okay, so do you have any examples of a great first date you've had?
Oh, my all-time favorite first date, coming back to like pretty much the bouldering, we went rock climbing.
Oh.
Went rock climbing on my first date. So
Like indoor or outdoor?
Indoor rock climbing. So we went rock climbing.
Mm-hmm.
Then we booked dinner right after rock climbing.
Love it.
And we were literally sweating after the rock climbing, and we literally did an emergency run to Primark
To get clothes.
to get a new pair of top and deodorant, and then we quickly swapped our tops in
That's cute.
in the car park, and then
Yeah.
quickly made it in for that. And we're still like dying.
Where did you go for dinner? What was it?
It was TGI Fridays.
So kind of cash, but you know,
Yeah.
that's exciting. I would say one of the best ones I've been on was that one where we went for coffee and then ends up going on a walk and then dinner. So that was a really good one. I think most of the good first dates I've had have been ones where there's like no expectations. I always like have low expectations anyway, hence the name of the podcast. But I feel like if I go in with like no to low expectations, anything's a plus. Does that make me a pessimist? I don't think so. Does it? A wee bit.
Kind of.
I
but
think it makes me
would
more
think
realist.
It's realist, yeah.
Oh, I'd go on a first date with you, Sid. So I would. Okay, what about the worst first date you've ever had?
I'm going to go with drinks. Meeting up someone just for like
Drinky drinks.
like alcoholic drinks.
Did you get drunk? Did they get
No,
drunk?
I didn't get drunk.
Did
I
they?
was driving. So I was sober. They were drinking, and the entire conversation was pretty much like what they wanted for the future was nothing even remotely close to what I wanted for the future. So it already started off terribly.
I thought you were going to say what they wanted for the future was not remotely what you were. I thought that's what you were going to say there for a second. I was like,
but
what?
no.
I was like, excuse me?
No, it was very much like, I don't even know how we got to the topic, but it was like, do you want to have kids? Do you want to get married?
yeah,
Stuff
yeah.
like that. And it was the complete opposite of what I wanted at the time.
Oh, no. And the context of having drinks in the background as well.
Yeah, as well. And I'm here like,
This isn't a bad first date that I had, but I had a funny situation where we'd known each other for a while. We went out for dinner and drinks. No, actually, what we did is we went out for drinks and then we went for dinner.
alcoholic drinks.
Yes.
So I feel like all bad first dates start with alcoholic drinks.
Yeah,
now.
and we basically, and this isn't I want to stress, this was not a bad first date. That I had a fantastic time as a date, but I did embarrass myself because we actually didn't just drink, we drank in every bar on the route to the restaurant. So the time we got to the
pub
restaurant, essentially yes.
There's no essentially. That was a pub
Yeah,
crawl
there's
that
no-
ended with you cheating because you ate food.
Exactly. And there's no world in which that is a good idea. But anyway, and so we went into the restaurant and I was trying to be sober. And it was a really nice restaurant. It wasn't like super fancy, but it was quite casual. But naturally we decided to order a bottle of wine with dinner. And actually, now that I think about it, maybe the place was a bit fancy because the wine came in like a wine cooler. But the wine cooler was like a stand one that they put next to the table.
Yeah.
And at one point I kicked it by accident. And it fell over and the whole restaurant went silent and looked over and it was so obvious we were both steaming. It was really embarrassing. So it wasn't a bad first date because we both had such a good time. And we're still in touch and stuff, but I did embarrass myself. So, but this is the thing though, like me and Caitlin have said this previously, like it's quite fun when you're getting to know someone, and maybe not on the first date, but it's quite fun having like a drinking night together because you both just have a good time and let loose a bit. But I feel like you shouldn't do that on a first date.
No, definitely not first date. I'd say going out for drinking at least second or third date when you kind of know them.
Exactly. So that's our experiences. But what do the experts say? I'm glad you asked, Jason. Well,
You're welcome.
when I was doing research for this, I wanted to poke my eyeballs out because all the research that I was looking into was so cringy. It was like fluff pieces and like Cosmopolitan's top 10 tips for first dates and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, and the advice was some of it was good, but most of it was nonsense, right? But what I've got here is a treat, an auditory treat for you. We're going to get some heterosexual advice. You ready for it? Because this is an article from Men's Health, quite the institution, and it's an article by Sarah Jacobson Purewall and Gigi Engel? Is that how we're saying their name? Okay. And it's basically their tips for dates. Now, obviously, these tips are probably targeted towards a mostly heterosexual audience, which is not really the audience of this podcast. So what we're going to do is I'm going to read... You're going in blind to this. You're not reading this bit. But I'm going to read these to you and we'll very quickly go aye or no on these little points, right?
Okay.
Point number 1, if this is from Sarah and Gigi, make it a two-way conversation.
Yes. I feel like that we're starting off with the bare essentials.
The bare minimum.
Bare minimum. We can only go up, but I feel like we might go down.
So, but this is a good point because I know someone who went on a date recently, a heterosexual date, and the guy just didn't stop talking the whole way through.
Sounds like me.
And he didn't ask her questions at all. And he then also started talking about his anti-vax views.
Well, I was going to say, it sounds like me, except the anti-vax views.
Anyway.
It sounds like me totally if we even remotely started a conversation that I'm invested in.
So, yeah, two-way conversation's good. Okay, be mindful of touchiness. This is clearly designed for heterosexual people.
Oh, yeah, because a woman may take
Offence, right?
offense, yeah, or vice versa.
No, but I guess that is a good point, though, especially probably coming off the tail end of a pandemic. You want to be mindful. Some people might be not okay with you.
Yeah, I'm very a touchy-feely
Touching
person, and I
their
normally
arm.
hug all my friends, but if I meet someone new for the first time,
Yeah.
it's a firm handshake.
So, a bit of restraint, that's fair enough. Keeping cursing to a minimum.
This clearly wasn't aimed at a Scottish audience.
No, definitely not. We'll skip past that one. Be present in the moment, so ignore texts and don't be on TikTok. Again, I feel this is the bare minimum.
That's the bare minimum. The only time you should really be checking your phone ever is unless your mother texts you.
Exactly.
I will literally drop anything from a mother.
Um,
Sorry.
Also, curb excess enthusiasm. And I've actually got a quote here. Giziness doesn't read as enthusiasm on a first date. It reads as anxiety, according to psychologist Tracy Thomas, PhD. I want to have a PhD at the end of my name. Anyway, you end up sending the message that you're uncomfortable with yourself and unable to self-regulate. Hello, ADHD.
Hello, me in every social interaction.
So, yeah, you don't. But the thing is, though, sometimes people are nervous. So, like,
I'm not nervous.
no, I know, but sometimes people are.
Yeah, I can
And
see where
then
it's coming from.
they would get-
But then you do have the situation where, like, you keep constantly telling me I need to go to a therapist, but if I go to a therapist and they actually diagnose me with something, I'll actually have to deal with it. I'd like living in ignorance.
Yeah.
Ignorant bliss.
Ignorance is bliss sometimes. But no, I feel like.
Yeah,
I feel like that's like.
I can
but-
see why. It depends on the situation.
But then people will be they'll moderate themselves too much,
Yeah.
and then you're not being yourself.
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
I personally appreciate if I went on a date and someone literally like went over the top because they saw something that they liked.
Yeah.
But this is obviously aimed at heterosexual, so it does kind of
I know what
it's
does
completely different for.
what does an enthusiastic heterosexual man do?
I wouldn't think they'd do anything. I think it's probably aimed. That feels like that was aimed more at women, even though it was in a men's health.
I don't know. It's strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here's another one. If your date wants to split the bill, do it.
That's
Now we were talking about this earlier, though.
Yeah, we were. Like, I would split the bill because of course, unfortunately,
Yeah.
it's two men for me.
Yeah.
But then I'm also here like, if one of them pays for it entirely, they have the power dynamic over the situation. Where I literally said, if I paid for it all, it's my excuse to literally go, you can get the next one, and then there's absolutely no obligation for me to ever meet them again.
Whereas for me, I think all dates I would want to go Dutch, as the saying goes, unless I was like dating them, in which case I'd pay for it fully, I guess. But I don't mind if someone wants to buy me dinner. I'm like, all right. And then also I don't feel obligated to do anything, but that's because I'm a monster. And I also don't feel obligated to see them ever again. Because the way I look at it, at least I've got a free meal.
You are evil. Evil.
Okay, also dress to impress. Again, this advice is
Yeah, no.
terrible.
Yeah, this is terrible. Like, that's kind of a given, but it all depends on the situation, because you can't dress to impress and go rock climbing.
Well, here's the thing though, right? This is a good question, right? Do you Do you specify the dress code before the date?
No, most
I don't.
like for the first date for me, it's normally like a walk in, a hot
Yeah.
drink, or some kind of like. If it's an activity, like I don't think I can do rock climbing at the moment. Actually, I probably could. Back again would fucking hate me for a week. Yeah, no, it'd be like mini golf.
Yeah.
Bowling. Literally.
Imagine you went mini golfing and then they showed up in like a full like golfing outfit.
I would find that hilarious.
I would love that.
And I would actually like yes.
That'd be
Yes.
it'd be a solid.
And
yes
then it'd
for
be
me.
one of those like you are aware if you lose this game, you will never,
Live
and I
it.
repeat, never live it down.
Okay, also offer a polite compliment. I feel like this is a female best friend saying this to a straight man right now.
Yeah,
Offer her a compliment
yeah.
so she knows you like her.
Your hair is lovely today.
Your hair is on your head right now and is
Well-
in a position that's in front of your face. Well done. She's got a fringe.
That's
Have I ever done that? I don't think I've ever done that on a date. I can't think of it. I guess I've been like, "Oh, you look nice" or something like that.
I've
But
complimented random women walking past, and then I felt extra obligated to walk. Well, I'm not going to say walk. It was really sashay away. I needed to go. I love your outfit, and then I had to make it look even gay walking away.
you're like,
There are sometimes women have walked by, and I'm like, oh, she smells lovely, and I feel like I would love a compliment for someone to tell me that I smell nice, but then I'm thinking some random guy telling a random woman,
they smell
"You
nice."
smell nice."
Okay, humor is your friend.
Yes.
Yes, so I think that's a good one. This one has a tip for virtual dates. So it says, if you're going on a virtual date, show your skills, maybe through cooking.
Oh, this tastes lovely, by the way. I'd offer you some, but
I don't know. I know, again, we're on the tail end of the pandemic, but I don't think a virtual date is high up on my to-do list.
no. Like I'm thinking virtual skills. It's like you're lucky if I've cleaned the section that you can see.
Yeah.
Like literally, you came here and it was speed cleaning to all day today.
This flat is very clean, though, Jason. Well done.
Yeah, it's
very
the
clean.
panic cleaning.
It's like, I mean, there's not an ounce of dust anywhere. It's basically sterile right now. So yeah, virtual dates, don't know how I feel about that. But anyway, remember to have a good time.
Yeah, this is bare essential stuff.
Okay, so that's what the alleged no offense to them, but thank you for giving us the chat surrounding your article. But that's what the experts say, apparently.
Yeah, I feel I do think there are some straight men that need to be told that, but like,
Especially,
it should be common sense. But then,
yeah. But some of them might not have like female friends, so I guess I get how that could be. That must be really difficult, actually. Imagine going on a date if you don't have female friends. What a world.
okay.
I can't even imagine that. It's crazy. So that's the tips from the experts. But Jason, what is our advice? What is our tips for dates? My first top tip really is to set expectations. So I feel like it's good to set expectations. So even if you're just meeting up with someone for nudity, so even if it's
You went straight to nudity.
even if it's not a date, I feel like you should set expectations. Where you're going, what you're gonna do, like, because then you both know what's
You'd hate
happening and you're both on the same page. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you'd hate me. Like my
Why?
dates vary between, like, we'll meet here and we'll find something to do to the. We will meet at this time. We will go to do this. We'll do this at this particular time. Like, there's no in between. I will either overanalyze and
Yeah.
overplan the situation, or I
Not
will
at all.
not plan at all. You do not get a middle ground with me.
Yeah, but that's still setting expectations, because then you're saying we're going to meet here at this time and then go on an adventure. That's exciting to me. Do you know what I mean? But if
Yes.
but-
Sorry, that just reminds me of that meme
what?
from The Hobbit. He's running away, going, "I'm on an adventure."
Oh, yeah.
And it was like when your friends look away from you at a club. I'm on an adventure.
I'm on an adventure. So yeah, I just feel like it's important to set expectations, not in a negative way, but just I like to manage people's expectations as to what the situation is. I don't know. That's my first one. What's your first one?
I don't have any. Let's go through yours, and then I'll throw in some extra stuff. That might spontaneously come to me when you tell me yours.
Okay, my other one then is be safe. So specifically, text a friend or phone a friend to let them know where you're going, who you're going with. Maybe send a photo of them just in case they murder you.
Just in case they murder. Like,
yeah.
Literally, like if I was ever meeting someone, it's a photo, their profile. Here's my live location for the next 8 hours.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Like literally everything would go out.
Yeah.
Or there's other times where I'm like, well, I've just met 3 random people.
And then if you are going to hook up, then be safe. Use a condom. Be on prep if that's your bag, baby. And, you know...
You're just jumping to immediately being alone with someone.
Well, how do you mean?
Like, it's like going to someone's house for the naughty business. I'm here like meet in public.
Who says they're alone? Jason, people can have sex with many people.
I didn't realise we were going to a group party.
I know you go to a first date and then they take you to like a swingers club.
Exactly.
You're like, and that's why setting expectations is important.
Yeah.
Okay, and then my last one I'd say for my top tips are George's questions. So the flashback all the way back to season 1 of the podcast when me, Sarah, and Vincent were sitting in my living room chatting. I said about Georgia from My Favourite Murder, her advice for first dates is to ask the following questions. Who was your childhood bully? Have you ever worked in the service industry? And how much should we tip the waiter? And she feels that these questions are like perfectly crafted to like understand a human. Because who was your childhood bully? So that it opens up a conversation about their high school experience and where they were in the social pecking order, and then it will also then give you some idea as to their kind of view on that, and also where that sits now as well. And then also in terms of the service industry, I think it's interesting to hear about people's work history, so you can kind of gauge, because if someone's never worked in the service industry or customer service, then lucky for them. But that also kind of tells you quite a lot about them as their personal experience and might indicate how they treat others and stuff. And then also, how much should we tip the waiter? Is it always interesting because, you know, it shows how kind they are. But then again, when Sarah and Vincent heard that advice, they were like, well, that's quite American because obviously they're...
Yeah, tipping is definitely like North American kind of thing. So Canada and America.
Yeah.
It does happen here in the UK, but
people's livelihood doesn't
matter
rest
to
on
them.
it. Yeah.
Where in America they do that. And I'm sure I've heard like in Germany they just don't tip.
Oof.
Like, well, I don't mean they don't tip. They'll give like €1.
Yeah, it's just not a thing really.
Yeah, and I remember an article where some American woman was raging at these German tourists because they tipped $1, and they were like, that's what we do in our country. It's like, no, you're in our country, you need to follow our rules. And they were like, and they pretty much like get to like
drama. So that's my top tips for first dates. So what's yours? Do you have any? I suppose one that's good that you said previously on the podcast is pre-dating.
Oh, I love pre-dating.
So unpack that. How does that work again?
Unpack pre-dating. So pre-dating is pretty much what it says on the can. Instead of like agreeing to an official date where you have all the extra pressure, you're just kind of like agreeing to meet up with someone and see if you actually have any chemistry in any way. Which is normally just sort of like a walk and like a hot drink for me normally.
Is this like a meet cute? Is that what that is?
I have no idea what that is.
What is a meet cute?
Yeah.
You carry on and I'll Google that.
Well, okay. But yeah, that's what I normally do. I've met quite a few friends that way. And that just didn't progress to dating. Like one of my really close friends now met on a pre-date and spent the entire time moaning about the ex.
Oh no!
Yeah, and I'm here like, okay.
Was that on like a pre-date or a date?
Yeah, it was a pre-date.
So in some ways it was good because it means you could just be like,
oh yeah, it was
goodbye.
literally after we finished our walk and chats and left. I was adamant, I'm never seeing this boy again.
Your elbow squeaky. Because it's like every time you move, like the microphone can hear it.
I'm sorry.
You just have to be like this.
Damn coffee table. Yeah, I didn't think I'd ever hang out with him again, like meet him again.
Did you?
Yeah, we're like good friends now.
Oh, that's nice.
We've even been on holiday together, but it was one of those like the first meet. It was like when I left, I got back in the car driving home, like I'm never seeing that man again. That was a bit much for me unpacking.
But yeah, I think I'm yet to predate. I think, but predating's on my to-do list because I think it sounds like a good way of kind of like getting to know someone without the kind of pressure, I guess, of like a first date, right?
Yeah, exactly. My last pre-date.
Was that the swimming one?
No, it wasn't that. That one was an official date.
Oh.
Because he was adamant that it was going to be an official date. And it didn't actually become swimming. It was literally, we met up for a walk and then we went for dinner.
Oh.
The most recent one
Uh-oh.
was supposed to be for a walk and a hot drink. But on the day that we agreed to do it, it was bucketing down and everything. And he offered, like, it was fine here. But when I was driving to his, it just like started bucketing down because it was like towards Edinburgh way.
So what did you do?
So I ended up just chatting to him in his place. And nothing happened before anyone assumes the worst. But like,
It had a different dynamic. I guess.
it was really weird. And it also didn't help that his entire house was nothing but plants.
Oh,
Like
a plant dad.
everything, plants everywhere. And then he nipped away to have a wee
A smoke
smoke. Yeah.
of. Oh. So it was
I'm sorry, I loved that. It was the look I gave you. You're like, oh.
So it's like a different experience than what you're expecting. Well, at least it wasn't a full date.
Yeah, he was chilled for the entire time, and he apparently enjoyed me non-stop talking. And I'm here like, the only reason I kept talking was because I was nervous and I didn't know what to do, and so I just blurted out. It was word vomit. There was nothing worse than just word vomit. And then I ended up on a Star Trek, and you know how long I can talk for Star Trek?
Oh no. Not on a pre-date, Jason.
Exactly.
Not on a pre-date. Well, was that quite a long drive for a pre-date?
I wouldn't say so.
40 minutes? 30 minutes?
Yeah, it was about 40 minutes. It wasn't that. I say it wasn't that far. Like, literally, like one of my friends literally said like it's really weird because like I would gladly like travel to the other side of the country to hang out with someone that would take the 2-hour trip to just hang out with them for an hour. So it's like 4 hours worth of traveling for an hour hangout, and I'm here like,
No.
yeah, and
Really?
yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. That's too much.
Well, I'm here like, now how else do you hang out with friends that live far away?
Zoom.
Yeah,
Or video
me,
games.
Me and my friend Joseph, like we literally watched WandaVision together, but we couldn't do the viewing at the same time, so we
Viewing
ended
part.
up just going, okay, we're gonna watch now, and then when we're done, we literally FaceTime and just dissected the entire thing.
Well,
We want to know your thoughts on first dates, so get in touch and vote on this week's social polls on Twitter and Instagram. Find us at Don't Date Me Pod. Sorry, it looks so weird trying to read it without any spaces. My brain's
Don't Date Me
like,
Pod.
nope.
and also, as ever, you can drop us a WhatsApp voice note or send us a message by hitting the contact button on the Instagram page as well. And you can email us at don'tdatemepod@itsjamiesparks.com. So, next week we have a special guest and we're going to be asking, would you date a Tory? That's right, we're going to be exploring dating people who have very different worldviews to you. Not just politically, but religiously and like dietary as well, and just all that kind of thing. We're going to unpack it. And also we've got new episodes every Thursday, so don't forget to follow us on your favourite podcast app so you don't miss them when they drop, and rate and review and share as well. And as we say in the same way every single week, Stay mindful of the touchiness. And don't
Dress appropriately.
dress appropriately. Yeah, there you go. Don't curse too much. And whatever you do, be polite. But also don't date me. Bye. God, heterosexual people are so boring.
That needs to stay in.
Hey, thank you for listening. The Don't Date Me podcast is created by Jamie Sparks Productions. If you enjoyed it, follow our show and rate it 5 stars on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening. You can rate us each time you listen to an episode. Pure it, as it helps people find our show. Keep in touch by dropping us an email at don'tdatemepod@itsjamiesparks.com and follow us on Twitter or Instagram at don'tdatemepod. If you love what we're doing, please consider donating to UNICEF to aid the people of Ukraine. Recently, our listeners raised £410 after gift matching. You can find the link in the show notes. See you on the next episode.
Hi, Sid.
Oh, hey, Sid.